Hey guys, it's Elaine, and welcome to part 2 of the time lapse of the original character portrait for Dr. Josette Anthony. As I said before, she is the main character of And the Coming of Nighttime, Book 1, and she is a geneticist, she is a wife, she is a mother, and she's an all-around badass. She's also really soulful. One of the things I enjoyed about working on her character was that sort of balance of homegirl with a PhD. Very, very intelligent, but at the same time, not ashamed of her roots of growing up, especially as she gets older in the black side of Chicago, and going from very poor with her mother to her grandmother giving her a somewhat better life. Still difficult, still challenged, but at least in a relatively safer vein. And Josette never forgets that, and she uses her street smarts in her ability to keep herself safe, keep her daughter safe, and the fact that, she was taught to be a strong black woman. It was a lot of fun creating her character, and I'm now working to make sure that I'm doing as much for her character visually as I have done as a writer. And this picture of her has actually gone through several changes from when I originally started working on it years ago. And yes, the finished piece will be in the book. So when you get the graphic novel, you will see it. It'll be there, I promise. It'll be there. But anyway, I also want to talk really quickly about my werewolves. As I said before, in many ways, they're just everyday people. They have kids, wives, siblings, parents. They want to just live their lives. So they're like everybody else in that regard. The only thing is they have something that's a little something extra, and that can be problematic for people around them. In regards to perception, what we perceive as the other, what we perceive them with fear, they're a danger to us, even if that danger is their presence makes us take stock of our own lives and how we live them, and what our preconceived notion of how the world should be. That's one of the things I love about working in the genres that I do, is you're only limited by your imagination. So werewolves can represent so many things, which is what I love about them. And they don't have to be dead. In fact, it's, dead werewolves aren't much fun. Kind of like dead puppies. I'm not going to sing that song, don't worry. But anyway, as I'm working on Josette, I'm also thinking about the werewolves in the script, and we don't really meet a lot of them in book 1. We only know of 2. One is Baker, who is her husband Stephen's assistant, and of course her husband Stephen Durant, who ends up becoming a werewolf by it's like every other science fiction movie with a crazy science. It's a science experiment gone wrong. And he ends up turning himself into a werewolf. And as they say in Hollywood, madness ensues because people end up dead. And the question for Josette as the reader is Stephen the one doing it? Is he the one who, appearing as the mild-mannered, well, actually, no, not very mild. He's very British, though, in some regards. But is he the, serious man of science by day, drooling, psychopathic people eater by night, or whenever he decides to, pop a change? And that's a question that you'll have to find out when you read the book. But it's when Josette starts looking at what may be an answer, it spurs her to make decisions. And those decisions are what helped drive book one. So I'm not going to go too much into them. What I am going to talk about is the process of the work. As I think I said before, I started with a drawing. What I did was I had an earlier picture that I was originally going to do as the cover for the book. Elements of that, it just didn't, it wasn't working right. But when I decided I wanted to put a picture of Josette in the front of the book as opposed to a picture of Frankie and Anita, who are characters from book 2, and I felt really didn't need to be in book 1, when I wanted to put her picture up there, I realized elements from that cover would be great, which would, so I redrew her picture. I redrew the element of the wolf eyes, which is an element that's also used in another little drawing that is in the book called Nothing Like the Sun, which is the same title that I used for book 1. But I was looking at those, and then I took this city skyline, which was also from that cover, and then I added the night sky element and the moon and started working on it. And originally the Josette and the wolf eyes I drew by hand and scanned in, and then everything got set on layers in sketchbook 1, and I did all the original colors and flats and layout and everything in sketchbook 1. And then in this video, what you're seeing is me going more deeply into the drawing in Clip Studio Paint, because right now that's pretty much how I'm working it. I'm doing so much of the work in Sketchbook Pro and then going into Clip Studio Paint, or I'm doing it all depending on how I'm working on it. Like a lot of the pages that are going to be done will probably be done in not Sketchbook Pro, Clip Studio Paint, sorry. And that's because I don't have a lot of time. And B, the story portion of the book, the manuscript portion, I guess you could say, I'm still working out the style of it, but it will have more of an illustrative style as opposed to a painterly style. And I can do that in Clip Studio Paint, and it'll make it faster for me to just get all of that done, because there is quite a bit to get done, which is why I am now releasing videos every 2 weeks instead of every week. It's just going to be easier in regards to the workflow. There is a lot of work to be done, and if I was trying to, along with trying to get this coming in July, I've got 25 to 30 pages to get done. And in order to do that, I can't worry about putting out a video every week, because I won't have a video to put out every week. But if I say, okay, I'm going to do a video and maybe a blog post every other week, I can work that into the schedule, because I can record parts of the progress that I'm working on for a particular page or a panel or something that I think might be interesting, and record it. And then as I'm getting the more pages done, I can slowly take my time in regards to editing and deciding what's going to be in that video. Whereas if I'm trying to put it out every week plus get pages done, it makes it a little harder, because for those of you who don't do videos, it takes work to get editing done. People think, oh, well, you just record yourself drawing. It's like, yes, you do. But then when you edit it back, you've got to, there are things that you will take out of the drawing because they're not necessary. In my case, sometimes I'm in the middle of drawing and I have to stop because the software needs to autosave. And yes, I can disable that feature in Clip Studio Paint, but then it gets really wonky if I tell it can't do that, especially because I have an older computer and I'm running Windows 10, and I'm trying to get everybody to play nicely together. And so I have to sometimes allow the software to be a little quirky in that regard. So when I get to that point where I have to stop, let it auto save, and then continue, then I cut that out. Or sometimes I'm working and guess what? Something will pop up. I'll get a pop-up notification, and it'll tell me I've got an email, or somebody's trying to contact me or something. The notifications will pop up, and so it's like, okay, get rid of those. And then also, these videos, you're looking at several days worth of work, several hours worth of work. And some of the footage you never, at least I can say in my regard, you don't get to see because, if I've got like 7 or 8 hours worth of footage, I can't condense all of that into a time lapse. My software, my computer, it doesn't work well enough for me to do that. So sometimes it's like, okay, this section we're not going to put in there. That section we're not going to put on there. So it's not just a matter of editing the content, but deciding what content actually goes into the video. How much of it. This video is almost 30 minutes long. And that's after. That's after I sat down and edited out all the wonky bits and then set the playback speed so that it would run fast. So what you're looking at is well over 2 hours worth of work in this video that's been condensed to about 30 minutes or so, or just under that. So, it takes a lot of work, and I'm not complaining. It is what you do when you want to get something done. That is just par for the course. I'm just explaining because of that. Because I'm not just, okay, I took this footage, I'll just pop it on the, I'll just pop it on the YouTube and I won't care. It's like, no, I have to put some effort into that. And so that takes a little time on top of working on the graphic novel, on top of the fact that I have a son who's autistic, and I still do mom stuff around the house. Dishes need to get done, laundry needs to get done, floors need to get mopped and swept, and all the rest of that. So it's living a life. It's just the things that you do in order to move forward. And for those of you who are much younger, who don't have those responsibilities, good for you. Hang on to that as long as you can. All you have to do is do you, and you're not worried about doing for someone else, because once you bring other people into that equation, you'd be surprised on how things have to be readjusted and you reset your priorities. Also, really quick, I wanted to explain that, yes, I put Creatives Matter on my video, but I'm not putting AuthorTube 2.0 or anything like that on that. Creators Matter because I am a creative, but what I'm not putting on there in regards to AuthorTube is because I don't just fit the AuthorTube criteria. If all I did was write books, that would be one thing. But I also write screenplays. I'm working on graphic novels. I also have a project that's coming up that will be a motion comic web series, unless, of course, Netflix decides to buy it, which will make me very happy because that means I'll have more money and greater production values, and I can hire other people to do voices and whatnot, and wee. But anyway, what I'm saying is I don't fit the AuthorTube. I don't fit that particular slot because that's not all I do. I do work in graphic novels, so I could be considered a comic book artist. I do screenplays, so I could be considered a screenwriter, you know, and I also make jewelry and whatnot. I do micro macrame, I do weaving, so I could also be considered a crafter. I fit a lot of different areas, and so I decided I didn't want to narrow myself into any one thing. Also, because the folks who want to get into what I do as a writer have to know that that's not all there is. I want to make sure that I'm reaching the broadest audience possible, and if I only say AuthorTube, then that kind of shrinks on who I'm asking to look at the videos, because I'm also, in terms of, along with all those things, I'm a mom, I'm an entrepreneur, I own my own company, and I have to make decisions about managing my business and whatnot. So, and I was talking about that as I go along. So, you know, I want people who are also looking at what's it like to run a business with very little money. And so you want to have something, at least I want to have something that says, hey, I do all these things, and come subscribe. And when you see videos that pertain to those things, go watch those videos. Or if you don't believe me, check out my playlist, see who I'm following, see what, you know, I have videos that are called craftiness. I have videos that other people have made, you know, under craftiness. I have videos that I collect work related, and they're all about art and business and things like that. I also have just videos of music and stuff that I love. There are videos that I love. I follow a lot of different interests. You know, everything from Mr. Kate, Rebecca Robinson, to, you know, belly dance videos, because I love some tribal fusion belly dance. But ooh, it's already 16 minutes, and I know my girl sister from another planet, if she's watching this, is like, girl, shut up and let me hear some music and just watch the artwork. So I'm gonna go ahead and start shutting down and say thank you for having watched. Thank you to the people who have subscribed and will subscribe. Drop me a notice. Let me know. If you send me a comment, believe me, I will know about it. It pops up. YouTube sends me email. Hey, this person, I get 2 and 3 different notifications going, hey, somebody just said something in response to something. Someone just, you know, got up and subscribed to you. Someone else got up and, you know, they made a comment on your video, or, you know, you made this comment and they responded. So yeah, I'll know. Don't worry. And, you know, as always, if you have questions, ask your questions. I will answer. Even if that answer is, oh, that's an inappropriate question and here's why. You know, you'll get some sort of response unless you're really crazy, and then I'll just block you. And that's because, hey, you know what? You have the right to say whatever you want to say, but that means you also are required to accept the consequences of your action. That's part of living as a grown-up. Yeah. Sorry if nobody told you that before. But anyway, have a good day. Be good to yourself. Be good to each other. Try not to be too crazy out in the world. The world is crazy enough on its own, you know. I'll see you next time. Oh, and of course, if you like it, give me that thumbs up. If you love it, sub. Ring the bell or not. I get, you know, I don't know about you, but because I subscribe to a lot of people, the minute I'm in the YouTube, it tells me, hey, these are what the people you subscribe to have done. You know, these are all those videos. So surely if you've got a YouTube account, you should get that. And if you follow me on Facebook or Twitter, even on Pinterest, if you follow me on Pinterest, I have a board, illustrations, and all of the videos I make, as well as some of the artwork that I do, go onto that board. So if for some reason you don't want to find me here on YouTube, you want to look elsewhere because, well, you know, I hang out more on Pinterest, or I hang out more on Twitter, or I hang out more on Facebook, I'm in those places. I'm easy to find. And if you want to know how to find me, hey, ask me. Hey, who are you on Facebook? Lynn's Capra 1. Who are you on, not Facebook. Facebook, it's Elaine Haygood. Or And the Coming of Nighttime, or Lynn's Cap Productions. On Twitter, it's at Lynn's Capra 1. And on Pinterest, it's Elaine Haygood. I think it's 520 or something like that. But I'll get the link and post it if anybody's really interested. And I realized, oh my goodness, it's 20 minutes and there's only 8 minutes left. So I'm going to let you go. Enjoy the music. Enjoy the rest of the video. Have a good one. Peace.